I need to go on a mini rant. I don't want to call it a rant. It may come across as a rant, but it's more like I'm just noticing that there's just so much learned helplessness behavior in this world and the mainstream culture. I feel like everyone wants to be oppressed. Everyone wants to be like, oh, well, I had this happen to me and XYZ. And people want to play the victim roles and pretend that they're helpless and powerless. And I say pretend because we are absolutely not powerless. And I'm not speaking to any particular person or situation. I'm speaking in general. That we should feel absolutely empowered to defend ourselves. We should feel absolutely empowered to use our voices, speak our minds, be our true selves. Once again, this is a general statement. I'm not speaking, there's certain situations, right, where this doesn't apply, which I will not get into because that's not relevant to what I'm talking about. But I'm speaking about a situation in which you personally felt disempowered, where you felt like you were victimized. You don't need to stay in that story, though. You absolutely do not need to keep playing the story of being a victim. Honor your feelings, honor the hurt that you feel, grieve if you must. That's all very important because our emotions are real. I'm not saying to bypass. What I'm saying is that there comes a time when you make a decision. Do I want to continue to replay this story? Or do I want to get the lessons, get the nutrients from that story, from that lesson, and use that to empower myself and choose differently? So there's a lot of people that continue to play the role of victim. And then they really start to believe to their core that they're actually completely powerless. And it really saddens me. It really saddens me that people are so scared to the core of making any decisions because they feel powerless. Because they believe that they are powerless. And this is a lot of like that has to do with the work that I do with people, kind of like waking people up like, hello, you're not powerless. You're not a small infant that can't make any decisions for themselves. It's actually quite the opposite. You are completely filled with power. You are just deciding not to use that power. Use that power in a safe and loving way, I should clarify. So, I just had to get that out there because it's just not healthy. It's just not healthy. And there will continue to be situations in your life where you feel disempowered, where you feel victimized. Just to reflect that feeling back to you. And I just hope that next time that this happens, that anyone feels disempowered, they're able to feel their emotions freely and then choose to empower themselves. And not to use those stories to keep them in a smaller box to confine themselves more and more until they feel like they're in a box, 4 walls enclosed, where they can barely move, barely make decisions for themselves. Because that's a terrible place to be in. Saying this with love you guys. Hopefully this makes sense. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you.